my God.
They're coming through with you now?
Find out. Oh my God.
They're coming through with you now?
Find out if there's anybody here on the 83rd floor.
Ma'am, don't worry. You stay on the phone with me, and I already
Can you
know.
find out if there's anyone on the 83rd floor? Because
Ma'am, I already
we heard
listen.
somebody.
Excuse me. I already notified this lieutenant. Okay. 80, I notified the city. 80? Yes, Lieutenant 80. I already notified the lieutenant that there's 5 people on the first floor, right? Very hot and smoky. So they won't overlook you. Okay, dear?
Can you?
I already did that,
Stay on the
ma'am.
line with me, please.
Yes, ma'am. I am going to stay with you.
dying.
Listen. Take
They're here?
Are they inside with you yet, dear?
No.
Okay, stay calm till they get inside.
Find out where they are.
Ma'am, stay calm till they get inside.
Karen. EMS, what's the job number you have?
I have 727. 727? Yes.
I said, see here, see right up. Oh, see here, what you have done. Well, I said, see right up. Oh, see here, what you have done. Now, girl, you made me love you, but now, you look when it's gone. Hear what I say? Well, I'm going away, baby. Lord, I won't be back till fall. Well, I'm going away, baby. Lord, I won't be back till fall. If I find me a good girl, I won't be back at all. Yeah, what I say, play me. Yo. baby. Lord, I won't be back till fall. If I find you a good girl, I won't be back at all. Yeah, what I say? Well, I said, see she rider. Oh, see what you have done. Well, I said, see she rider. Oh, see what you have done. Well, girl, you made me love you. Now the night of a man is gone. Hear what I say? Well, I said, see.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is another episode of Rogan Radio. Good evening to you.
Mic check.
Everybody's here.
Check-a-con.
First of all, after what happened last week, and if Darren, you could swing this camera right above the door here, it would be, maybe you could see it. Try the high one. I want everybody to see what's happening here. There it is. See, down in your bottom right-hand corner, you see this thing right here, right below Todd. Yeah, Todd, point to this screen, not your butterfly. That right there. All right, now what that is, we kind of figured that we might have another episode of what happened last week, and thanks to a friend of ours, we have, oh my.
You said point at it. I'm pointing right at you.
Wow, classy.
Hi, Chucky.
Anyway, we had what looked like we were getting busted again, right off the bat, in a flood of stuff. You can go ahead and put that down now. But anyway, this is our self-defense mechanism.
He likes holding that.
That's our self-defense mechanism, and currently what is happening is, and if we lose connection, the reason being is because we are blasting who is blasting us, and we're hitting them hard right now. That's basically what is happening. So you can
This
go
is
ahead.
a high-tech, Rogan.
Yeah, absolutely is, because now it's going to kind of damage us, but that's okay.
No,
But
it
it's a
won't
self-defense
damage us.
mechanism. Donnie was
Self-defense.
talking about Air Force One having their flares and things like that.
Well, then Rogan
You know what?
Radio has we're on.
My goodness,
Where's our-
yes, and that's why we do it, and that's that. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, good evening to you. In the studio tonight, we have, as always, over in the director's chair, we have Darren Hardman.
Hey, everybody.
We also have, sitting in chair number 1, Chad Puccio.
Hello.
We have, straight from Japan, back in Lumberport, Bruce Takahashi. Let me see which one, Bruce. I got to turn you up a little bit.
Konnichiwa.
That's good. Let me say something there.
That was good, Jim.
Can you hear me all right?
Hold on, here he comes.
Here it comes. They're getting there.
Let's see. Say something else. I just want to make sure everybody can hear
Say
you.
something in Japanese.
Konbanwa.
Ooh, I think we got
I
him.
like
Konbanwa.
that. Yeah, I like that.
Konbanwa.
I like that. And we also
Sounds
have
dirty.
Jimmy Whiz, straight from the coal mines.
Sup.
And, of course, we have the one and the only Captain Earl Beck. Now, listen, we're going to start this thing off real quick, and probably maybe even get into the entire show. I know the podcast is going to be about 9/11. There's a lot of things we could talk about, but this is one of these life-changing moments. And I can remember, and listen, if you're on YouTube or on Facebook, share it. What you remember, because this is one thing. When I was watching Chad and I were talking about this. I was watching videos all day today. It was consuming me.
I know,
And let me tell
right?
you something. I cried. I was mad. It was like it just happened. It was like it just happened, and it was terrible. But what I remember is it was in 2001. I was still a PTF at the post office, and I was driving to work actually listening. I just turned the radio on, listening to Eric McGuire, out of all people, and I never listened to VAQ. But I was listening to Eric McGuire, and he's talking about maybe a small plane or something, because everything was real sketchy at that time. I didn't know what it was. He was talking about an explosion at the World Trade Center. And I'm thinking, right off the bat, is this like some kind of like it's been a couple years since the bombing, and I think it was in '93 when the bomb went off in the basement, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, man, it's been that long since that's happened or something, you know?
Yeah.
Then I realized it wasn't that. It was something way worse, and then it happened again, and walking on the mail route and having like a little transistor radio, which was about, that big then, I mean,
Yeah.
and the confusion, the mass confusion of everybody not knowing. I mean, there was a plane that went down allegedly over like near the Lincoln Monument. At the Capitol. I mean, it was a crazy time for everybody. And then even Donnie said that the president's on the plane, and he couldn't even talk to anybody. It was just a different time for us. But that was the most important thing. And I walked into the post office, and nobody knew it. Nobody in that post office knew it. And I was like, man, and then next thing you know, everything stopped, and we were all on TVs watching this thing. It was terrible. But
Crazy.
now we're on September 11th.
It was our first vacation. Emily was about 3 years old. We went down the Outer Banks, and we got up that morning, business as usual. And then somebody, we had a TV on in one of the rooms, and somebody's like, hey, you got to come see this. And so we all ran in there, and that was when the first plane hit that first tower, and then we were glued after that. And I was telling Chuck the other day, it was weird because when all that happened, they halted all air, anything in the air. There was nothing. It was weird because the skies were quiet. Because I'll never forget that. It was we were down the Outer Banks when all that stuff happened. The McCulloughs and ourselves, and I think the Reinhardts were with us too. But
Darren,
I was actually I was working for the Town Law Report at that time, and
director's cam, please.
Oh, yep. I was working for the Town Law Report at the time, and I heard on the radio that something had happened. So I got in the truck and ran up to the house, and the first plane had already hit, and I was watching the live feed right as that second plane hit, and I was just glued from then on. I mean, just watched the towers come down and everything. I just the immediate horror and rage.
Surreal. It was surreal.
I mean, I just couldn't believe it. It still just pisses me off today.
Oh, honest to God, it hits me today like it did 15 years ago. Chad.
I was laid off at the time. I actually was asleep, and it was like a little voice went off in my head, get up. And normally I get up, I go out, I see what my kids is doing, and this, that, and the other. But I reached for that remote, and I hit that button.
And there was on every single channel.
Every single channel.
Oh, yeah.
I sat at the edge of my bed. If I wasn't sitting at the edge of my bed, I walked outside and paced around my yard, and then came back and sat at the edge of my bed. So,
that's me. Sorry.
Yeah, because you in your head you're thinking this can't be happening.
Yeah, it can't be happening, and then it hits you. It is happening.
Yeah.
So you get pissed off, and you got to get up, and you got to walk away from it because you don't know how your body's reacting to this.
Yeah, you don't know how to handle it.
And then it's like, nah, this ain't happening. And you go and you sit back down, and you're watching more and more, and then another plane hits, and then another plane drops out of the sky, and it's like, really,
It was like something that you never thought would happen. And then, I saw on the Facebook there a minute ago, somebody was talking about the first responders, and there's a documentary, and there's a lot of them, and and you can see these firefighters and guys, and they're getting ready to go up in this building. And I don't know if you ever got to see the trade towers when they were there, and they were they were bigger than as big as you think they are. They were bigger. They were big, and everything in New York's big anyhow. Mm-hmm. But those guys lined up, getting ready to go in those towers, and they knew it. You can see it on their faces that they knew it. I mean, they're going into a sky rise, and this thing is falling apart, and they knew it. And people were jumping out of those things, and you could. And there's one video in particular where it shows like a young firefighter guy, and they're hearing these bodies hit whatever the hell they're hitting when they hit, and just each time they're mad for each time they hear it. They're disgusted. They're afraid. You have all these emotions at one time. Yet they're going to go up there and do what they do.
And that's why they're heroes.
Absolutely.
Plain and simple.
Absolutely.
Because, you watch those videos like you mentioned, you see them firefighters, single file going into them burning buildings, and you look at each one of them going through that door, going in that building, and then you have to say to yourself, probably most of them never even came out of that building.
No.
And that breaks your heart.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. But Brucey, you know what? They died doing what they love.
Brucey, what were you doing 2001, September 11th?
2001, it's 14 years ago.
15
years ago?
Yeah.
That's actually when I just started the post office.
What were you doing that morning when all this went down?
I do remember watching the news.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But when I saw that news, I myself physically been into the World Trade Center when I was college years.
Yeah.
That was a nice place.
Oh, and it was big.
Then I'll never forget the elevator from the first ground floor up to the wherever that you can look around.
Oh, the observation deck.
Yeah, observation deck. I mean, it goes super fast.
Oh, it most certainly
that's like a cruises to the top, don't it?
Super fast. Yeah, so those good. I remember more of the good memory I had with the building,
right,
rather than what was happening in front of the TV. Which at the first I didn't believe it because smoke coming in the building. I said, that's unreal.
Yeah,
it was hard to believe at the moment, but more I watch the news all day long, then more I realize what the situation was.
And I'm telling you, I don't know about you guys, but when I'm watching it, and it was the first one, you see these flames, and you see this monster on tower number 1, and then out of nowhere, tower 2 hits, and you're like, oh my good.
Because you know what, you might
now you know it's on an accident.
Yeah, you might almost think with that first plane hitting the first tower, like, what? How did that happen? But then with the second one, you're like,
I think that's
this
the
was
biggest,
all intentional.
And I think that's the most chilling. I was watching some videos, and like, there's one I shared that's on my mind right now, and I think one of the most chilling parts is when, you know, they're all looking at that first tower, and you see the second plane hit, and there's one video where the plane, you know, it's filming, and that second plane hits, and this girl's voice just going, you know, oh my God, you know, it just gives you chills, man. It's crazy.
What were you doing, Jim?
I was in a meeting, actually. I was sitting in a room, and there was a TV in there, and some people came in and were like, hey, how long are you guys going to be? And we're like, well, I don't know. They were like, okay, because a plane hit one of the World Trade Center towers, and we just wanted to watch it or whatever. And we're like, all right, we'll be here in a few minutes. A couple minutes later, man, they come in. They're like, hey, look, you guys we got to turn the TV on. There's another plane hit another tower, blah, blah, you know, and it just blew up from there. It was
because that's the point, you know, at that point, you know that.
It's like everybody stopped what they were doing.
Yeah.
The whole damn world stopped when that happened.
Yeah.
Right.
I think.
Mark Coffey, he's in the, what were you doing over there? I'll relay it for you.
I was driving down Route 50.
Right, driving down Route 50.
Where the old townhouse used to be.
Down the townhouse. And then that's just where, when you
It was on the radio, right? You heard it on the radio.
Yeah, and then once after that, it was, it's just.
The second one was in Anmore.
Yeah. The second one was in Anmore when you heard that. Then that's what I mean. When I saw that, when I heard it actually, because I was listening to it on the radio, carrying mail out of all things. Because we normally hit the street, but at that time we were hitting
a little earlier, right?
Yeah, we were hitting maybe like 8:30.
I can't exactly remember. I don't know if you can, or if anybody exactly what time that was.
You guys are starting 7:30.
About 9 o'clock, wasn't it?
7:30.
Right. Yeah, I know it was in the morning because we were, you know, we were getting up, getting our heads together, getting breakfast and everything. That when we got the news on around TV, so I know it was in the AM.
But I tell you what, to hear the scream, to go through that, and this is eerie. To hear the scream of that jet flying through town. And then hitting that explosion, you know, that initial explosion. But here's the thing that kills me the most about all of this. I mean, it's that, and Bruce taught me a valuable lesson today going over to Shinston, because I was telling Bruce about my parents living over in Shinston. He goes, well, let's go see them. I was like, well, yeah, let's go see them. And he goes, look, your life can change in an instant. If you have the advantage,
or you could spill something on you.
Todd spilled Miller High Life all over his shirt. But if you have that opportunity, why take it? Because the next second you might not have it, right? And I'm thinking, and this has always bugged me from that day, because even when I was married at that particular time, I mean, people take things for granted. You take your family for granted. You take your job for your friends. You take everything for granted. And how many times or how many people left that morning, 2,700. How many people at the New York alone left cussing their wife or mad at their kids or some shit like that and say, well, when I get home, I'm going to take care of it. And that was the last thing that was ever said.
Never went home.
Yeah.
Never went home.
Never came back. And that was the last thing. That somebody, you know, that's like one of those things that happens every day. What are you supposed to do about it?
Yeah.
But there's some really interesting stories here I'm reading on the Facebook about what people were doing. And it's very interesting, in fact, that everybody knows the details. You know what I mean? It just that is like one of those things that it's just
like I saw on the video earlier. They were saying that, you know, our grandfathers and grandfathers' day that changed their lives was D-Day. It was a day lived in infamy, and for our generation, that's kind of the day for us. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Right. And then, you know, it is just.
You know, the sad part about it is parents who have kids that are starting their freshman year in high school this year, they're actually learning this as part of their American history now.
Yeah, because they weren't even born, really. You know, a lot of them.
Yeah, my kids were little.
Well, my youngest son, he's a junior in high school, and he was only 2 years old at the time.
See, Emily was only 3.
Any kid under 15 years old wasn't even born yet.
Isn't that wild? Isn't that wild to think? And that is absolutely wild to think. But this is like
an infant.
And you know, it's weird watching old movies, you know, because a lot of movies, a lot of Hollywood is set in New York City, and you know they'll show that skyline, and they always got them 2 towers right there.
Yeah.
Like, look,
like Escape from New York when he landed on them.
Landed on top of
with
it,
that
right?
little glider.
Hell, what about the second version of King Kong?
Oh, he climbed it, right?
He climbed up the World Trade Center.
Yeah. That's weird.
That is weird.
Because there's just...
One thing I remember was when that was right around when the new Spider-Man movies were coming out. Remember they had that trailer where he caught that helicopter with a web in between the two towers?
Oh, is that right?
It was a trailer, and they ended up, after that went on, because this happened between the trailers and the movie coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And they ended up, getting rid of away with that trailer.
Deleting that scene. Yeah, that's too bad. Daggone it.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Randy Scott, he's on the Facebook here, and he's talking about he called Lincoln after the second tower was struck and asked to speak to his daughter, right? And they pretty much told him they didn't know. He got hold of her, and then he told her he did not know the extent, but the United States. Oh, let's see here. I'm sorry. But the United States was under attack, and he wanted her to hear it from him first.
Yeah. Well, he's a
people don't know Randy Scott.
Okay. Yeah. Randy's been a long life firefighter, so he's got a personal connection with a lot of those. Maybe not.
Sure. Well, Brent Harris too.
Yeah, Brent Harris as well,
and all of them. Because if you don't have to, you look at how things have changed since 9/11. You had a big respect come out of the visuals, anyhow, of what a firefighter does. Maybe a lot of people before that took it for granted because they just saw a lot of guys playing down at the firehouse, like Mark Coffey down there. But then you see the dedication. That's when probably one of these first times you'll see fires in different cities, but not on the grand scale. When those buildings fell and you saw these monster trucks just destroyed, you had all of a sudden this new respect. You know what I mean? Then all of a sudden everything since then has changed.
And all those firefighters and police officers and all them, while everybody was running away, they were running to that building. Right. You know what I mean? To make sure you got out, and they didn't care who you were,
that's courage,
what color
man.
you were, anything.
That's courage.
Hey, there's a person. Let's get them.
Yep. Well, that's what these guys do, man. They save lives. They kick ass and they save lives.
No matter what color.
But that is one thing. Make sure on September 11th, you just do not forget. You just can't forget it. There's a lot of stuff in the NFL. We're not going to get into controversy about this. But there's a lot of stuff where people, you take for granted. And this is the argument that I have, I have a big problem with this particular argument, is that it's his right or whoever's right to do something. Okay, technically it is. But in my opinion, there are certain things that are you just don't do.
Yeah.
Okay, like say with the national anthem or the flag. Okay. Yeah. That's just one of those things to where you just don't do it. I mean, you go do whatever else you want.
Right.
Do whatever else you want.
It's just an unsaid rule.
You have freedom, but that's just disrespectful.
Well, and to say, well, he has that right to do it. Yeah, you do have that right, I guess. You do. Absolutely, you do.
Yeah, well, that's what makes
it's like
America
going
great.
into a funeral home and laughing at somebody that's laying there. You have the right to do that, but you wouldn't do that. It's just disrespectful.
Evidently, you didn't go to my wife's funeral.
Well, here's what I want to tell you.
That's what she wanted.
You want to disrespect what this country does or what this government does, you go ahead and do that. But by God, you don't disrespect that flag in this country.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and these guys who were disrespecting the country, look at them. Well, we don't want to get into all that, but I mean, look who's doing it. This country, because they live in this country, they have been afforded. These guys got. This country gave them everything, man. That's the only reason they are where they are is because they live in America. But they want to kneel and they want to sit down during the national anthem. Give me a break.
I saw a story today. They were talking about, just to put it in perspective, they were showing a courtroom. We'll just go back to YouTube. We'll see what happens. That was right. It'll look like we got busted.
It says we're offline on YouTube also.
Daggone. I wonder what that does.
It says we're back live. Okay,
we're back live now. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, we have this attack going on here, and probably more than likely...
What do you want me to do here?
Just keep it going, man.
No, this right here.
Yeah, we'll just see what happens. We'll just keep it going for now. Don't end it.
All right.
Let's just see. Let's check YouTube. Did YouTube come back on yet? It should be back
YouTube's
on now.
back
Yeah, okay. We're fighting this thing.
Is the live feed is only good for the voice or just the videos?
No, it's for video. Yeah. Yeah.
Because as long as we can keep going with the voice, might as well keep going.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I mean, that's the. Let's see.
I just told him.
Back on.
It'll be back. You know what? You start talking about this stuff, and
yeah, it looks like we're back up now.
Yeah. So it's all good. It's all good. It's just one of these things. And once again, we have the self-defense mechanism happening over there. Go ahead and hit that shot again, Darren, if you would, please.
Which one?
The self-defense mechanism. Todd will point
right.
to.
This mechanism.
Yeah, right there. That mechanism right there.
here.
You know, and the nerve of somebody to do that during a broadcast like this.
Yeah.
You've got to be. Just go out and shoot yourself.
But you can see the levels over there on the left. Oh, see that you can see as they ping and everything else. We're getting that good. So that's good. It's sort of working. But that's okay.
My face, you fool.
By the way, we're going to talk about. There's a lot of interesting things about 9/11 that we're going to talk about, and what it's going to be one of the big episode. It's going to be pretty cool. I think.
Let's do it, man.
Yeah. So it's this thing's coming in and out, but we're just going to go ahead and get right to the podcast, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
God bless you, Chuck.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah,
Listen,
I know, but I know your head inside just
Well,
women.
when you start fighting this kind of
And
stuff
listen,
like this,
I don't know if anybody can hear us on the Facebook or not, but you don't owe us an apology for last week.
Oh,
we
yeah.
saw that.
Not at all.
You know,
Well,
you don't need.
I mean, you know what? That was completely out of your hands. This, you had every right to be upset because for how long has this podcast run smooth, man? The Social Hour for almost a year. This thing has run smooth.
Yeah.
And so it's
Till
nothing.
one person gets a little hair up their rear end.
Yeah.
You know what, Chuck?
Yes, sir.
Fake laugh.
Stand up for what's right for yourself.
That's right. That's why I want to go over there and
That same Facebook's back now. So.
yeah. So it's just going to be one of those things where it comes and goes. So be it. It's okay.
Facebook.
It's okay. So you know what? I tell you what we haven't done for a while, and let's end it on this. Let's go ahead and do a make 'em dance thing. Because I want to get into this. I have a feeling with the podcast, which will be up tomorrow morning, by the way. I have a feeling this is going to be a very interesting podcast, and I would much rather not listen to Todd sing. But I would really like to get into the podcast rather than because we really don't. We could talk about this stuff, and obviously, that thing is dropping pretty good over there now. But obviously, this is going to be like a high, explosive, interesting Facebook.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, a podcast. Right. Oh, and by the way, we want to thank Christina Fox over at the Army Corps of Engineers.
And I want to. We need to tag her in that too.
I did.
Can we?
I did.
Yeah, you did actually
Yeah.
on the Tiger Lake. Listen, Christina Fox was fantastic. She was a vessel of knowledge. She knew
took
everything about that.
Yeah, she really did. She really did. She was cool. She was really cool. We learned a lot about that thing. That was pretty amazing. That was a pretty amazing ride.
Well, we had.
And then Brent took us out on the water.
Yeah.
And that was a good time, too. That was the first time I ever took the quad out there like that over, like, if that thing would have fell, there was
would be
no
at the bottom
getting
of
it
Tiger
back.
Lake right now. That
There
thing
was
had
no
been
getting
sucked
that
into
thing
the
Make
back.
sure
dam.
them batteries are charged.
There was no getting that thing back. We were going
was
to be
cool, though.
doomed. Yeah,
It
it
got
turned out
some
really well.
Have you guys seen it yet?
Yeah, I actually watched it the other day while I was supposed to be working.
Hey, wait a minute.
Whoa. Hold on.
I didn't say that.
Have you seen it, Jimmy?
What?
That's
Have you seen it?
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Give him honesty. Hey.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Hey, when you push a broom around, you got headphones. You can push a broom and actually watch something at the same. I can multitask. Okay?
You can rebuild a motorcycle carburetor while you're
Hopefully.
pushing it.
Hey, you know what? Hey,
Nice.
here's the thing. He could be watching something else.
He could be.
Yeah.
He could be.
You never know, Bruce.
By the way, didn't you put something up about London this week?
Yeah,
Yes.
I wanted to say that. We
Yes.
got to give some shout. Oh, during the podcast, we'll definitely do that because London, man, they are Rogan Radio fans over there in the UK. They like us, man, or they like me.
Oh,
it was.
That's probably not.
It might be me.
It probably
That ain't
wasn't.
it.
It
probably wasn't me.
To your help with running the podcast by yourself the week before.
Did I? Oh, yeah, that was a nightmare.
By the way, if you can hear us, go to the RoganRadio.com. We put up a new page. We got our team page now, which we're busy. It has our team members and pictures. And don't worry, that's not Todd. When you look and see, I'm just haven't got a picture up for him yet.
What?
And there's actually
well, the first picture I remember seeing up there today was you and me and Chuck.
And there's a couple old school videos on the Our Adventures page you have to check out.
Nice. We have some of those old videos that we did were great. By the way,
they're
and those,
funny.
oh yeah,
Man.
if you go when you actually go to the website, look for if you do it on a PC, it'll be relatively easy. But if you're on a mobile phone, you'll see like some dots, like some horizontal lines up in the upper left hand corner.
Yeah.
And hit that. It's a site map. It'll link a bunch of links to take you hyperlinks right
like
to
a
a particular
drop-down
page.
box.
Yeah. And go ahead and go through those things. Once again, that's on RoganRadio.com, and that is pretty neat. You can also check out. We have the podcast on there, so if you want an easy place, drop down menu, hit podcast, boom, all the episodes are right there. What else is on there? The
Social
Facebook
hours
feed.
are actually on with the podcast.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I haven't
Right.
found out how I'm going to separate those. By they're just all under SoundCloud right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's how they're categorized. How do you say that word?
Categorized.
We got a
right.
great contact page, which of course, it's kind of secure, so we don't get spam.
Oh, okay. Now
But,
I'm looking at our team photos right now. Who the hell is that, Jimmy? I have never had a tan. I have never had a tan like that in my life.
Look at that thing.
But I have got a beautiful smile. I've
But
got to say.
yeah, go ahead and go to RoganRadio.com
But
and
use
check
the
that
contact
out.
page.
That is
We've had
hilarious.
over 600 views so far, and no one emailed us yet, or at least not that I know of. But anyway, I haven't heard from Chuck. But anyway, so
Oh, yeah, I need to check
just,
that.
Get in touch with us. Send us an email or something. Let us know you were there. Let us know what you like, don't like, what we should do, ideas.
Yeah. Give us some feedback.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Co-host and clown. That's what you have me as, co-host and clown. you got yourself as co-host and beatboxer. You got Chad as Chad and
Co-host. That's
co-host.
But I just left it. Hey, this is a work in progress, man.
Sure.
So this is
Right, Jim.
the master of the show. It's not Beck Radio. It's Rogan Radio. He's
That's
gonna
right.
Tell me what to do, and we can change it.
Well, I think you're doing great. I kind
Some
of
of
like
these-
that.
some of these
those
old
are
videos-
fantastic, though.
These are from when? Like around 2000? When? Early 2000,
You need
right?
to see
2001,
The
2000.
one,
Yeah.
the one with Jeremy is hilarious because he's like 13 years
great.
old, man. You know what I
I
mean?
know, right?
Well, look at you, man. You were about 200 pounds here.
I know.
I was
pretty heavy
like
dude.
30 pounds heavier, especially in that middle video where me and you were dancing.
Yeah, but Jimmy, you would come to the game night every night with a
With
bag of
McDonald's, I know, right?
McDonald's.
No, real quick, we might be in Grafton as this coming Friday.
yeah, Friday.
Now, is everything clear with the school and the principal and the band? And we're not
that's
going to
what
have to pay to
I'm
get in.
double-checking,
And
yeah, I'm double-checking
they want to know we're
everything.
there. And we're not going to get
I told
arrested.
Christian, I said, make sure you tell him again. He said for us to be there about 6 in the band room, and I told him, I said, you got to tell them that we're going to be using a drone,
Yeah.
quadcopter, and everything.
Well, you know what? A lot of it depends what time we get off work.
I was going
Yeah.
to say, 6 o'clock's going to be tough.
I think game's
Yeah.
at like
Yeah,
7.
well, I've
so.
got to take a nap in order to stay up that
Oh,
late.
must be
my
so
gosh.
nice. Must be nice. Must be
Ooh,
nice.
we take a little nappy poo.
But listen, one thing we want to encourage too, we're not so much worried about the Facebook page, but if you listen to podcasts, we encourage you to share it let somebody know about it because we're having a great time with that, and we're getting this last one especially. I mean, I'll pull it up and tell you exactly right now who the big top 5 countries. Now, listen, every time I look at this stuff, it amazes me, and that's why I'm just spellbound by it. It is
The reach
absolutely
is crazy.
It absolutely is. Let's see here. Let me give you an example. Let's see. Okay. As an example, we're going to use top countries. The top 5 countries for this past week. The U.S., okay?
Number 1.
Then the U.K.
Number UK.
Then Australia. We've never had Australia in the top 5.
I love the
That's
Aussies.
true.
And they're coming
Yeah.
at number 3 on the
Yeah.
board.
Love the
showing.
Aussies.
That's no joke.
Hey, good
nice.
day,
Nice.
everybody.
That's
out
all.
there.
Good
mate.
day.
And then the Netherlands, which we've had them in France also. We've had
Hey,
them too.
can I say hi to the Australian people?
Sure.
How you doing, mate?
How you doing, mate?
That's fantastic.
Let me
Konnichiwa, mate.
Konnichiwa, mates.
let's see here. What's some of the big cities that we haven't seen? Well, Fairmont, Morgantown, they're all in there. Bridgeport, L.A., Daphne, Alabama. Is that right?
Really?
Hey,
That's right under where I used to live.
Right. Rockdale, Australia. Harrow, again, from the UK. That's fantastic. Owings Mills. That's good. Houston.
Harrow is they're
Stewart Stratton.
rock
They really
strong,
are.
man.
Lewiston, Idaho.
Lewiston.
Yeah.
Who in the hell in Idaho?
Gilroy, California.
Gilroy.
Thanks for
That's
listening.
weird.
Gilroy,
I know.
California.
Pretty neat, isn't it?
We should
Yeah,
make a road
it's
trip
more
there.
interesting how spread that is.
I wonder if
Really.
Gilroy's like a little tiny town or a great big town. I've never heard of Gilroy. Is it kind of like Grady, North
Adventure to say
Carolina?
it's not great big.
Maybe that's how much we don't know about things.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe they should shoot us an email. Or
I'll
something.
tell you right now.
Some of
how
the
big
best people
Gilroy
are from
is.
little towns, man.
Yeah.
Some of the best ones are from Gilroy, California.
Hey, I'm surprised at the Netherlands, though, man.
I
That
know.
would be cool. I'd love to see.
I know,
You know
it
what?
too.
If you're from the Netherlands and you're watching us, well, I guess I should put that
By
on
the way,
podcast.
the population of Gilroy, that small town, is 48,821.
Wow.
Yep,
That's a
48,000.
nice-sized
That's
town.
pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty small, isn't it?
Well, you just say you've never heard of Gilroy.
No, you haven't because you're not from
Well, maybe for
California.
California, that's a small town.
That's true. That's
Oh,
a little
yeah,
country
see?
I
town.
mean,
Okay.
you got to take consideration of where we're talking about.
Yeah.
That's
What do we got? What's Clarksburg? What's the population of Clarksburg?
15,000 or something, 13, something like that.
Is that it?
I remember when I first moved here, they said it was 8,000, but it's since dropped.
Oh yeah, it definitely has. But once again, we would like for you to encourage that. Tell somebody about it. If you listen to the podcast, which once again, that's what we like to do. That's what we enjoy, and that's why I said I think 20 minutes ago that we were going to get off of here and start doing that because it's going to be a very interesting conversation. And we're still talking about this.
Well, people are still listening apparently because they're responding on Facebook. So
Yeah, well, that's fantastic. Hey, Stephanie says Daphne. You know what? I wonder.
Daphne.
I like to call her Wilma. No, wait a minute. Who's
no,
the other
Daphne is a place.
Daphne was from the
Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo. But what was the other girl's name then?
Thelma.
Thelma
I
was the
couldn't
nerdy.
remember.
Thank you, Director.
the
Yeah.
nerdy one.
Yeah. Where'd Mark Coffee go? Where's Mark at?
He's right here.
He's
Oh,
right
probably
around the corner.
Listen, I'll tell you what we're going to do next week. Listen, don't tell Mark this. Listen, don't tell Mark this. We're going to have the Mark cam, and he's not going to know it. That thing's going to be stuck out there somewhere.
Yeah.
He's going to be out there
He'll be
scratching his ass
standing
or
there,
something. You know what I mean?
picking his nose, sniffing
Mark,
his own balls.
Mark, when's the thing downtown? That's coming up here. What?
Sunday.
What
This
thing?
coming Sunday?
Velma.
Yeah, the 18th.
The 18th?
Velma or Thelma? Which one is it?
She said Velma.
Velma?
It's Velma.
Oh, with a V.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Velma. Is you going to get Corey up here sometime?
As far as I know, I don't know if he's working or not.
What time's everything start on? Once again, tell me
What's going on next Sunday?
of Mark Coffee.
Yeah, Mark. We need to get him. Listen, if I get you a microphone that you could sit out there without your face, would you do that?
No.
Oh,
Dang, listen, we need to get we need to get Mark. Hey, this is Mark Coffee from the walls of Rogan Radio.
Hey, you remember that old Bill Cosby skit with God? You remember that?
Is that the one where
I do remember
is
that.
that the one where he's building the ark?
Where he's talking to Noah.
Oh, no.
Noah's going, wooba, wooba, wooba. He goes, Noah. What?
That's good. Yeah,
You remember
it's been a
that
long
one?
time. Oh, I love that.
That's an old
that was
one,
a great.
man.
Anyway,
That's what it reminds
what
me
time's
of.
every?
What's going on in Lumberport next
You're having
Sunday?
a big fireman's thing downtown, right?
Yeah, they're having a water battle.
The water battle.
Oh, water battle.
Yeah. What time's that all happen down there Sunday?
Around noonish.
Okay,
Around
noon,
noonish on Saturday. Oh, Sunday.
Sunday, the 18th. Sunday.
Sunday.
And then you're
Sunday.
Sunday. We have all the fire departments come to Lumberport,
Downtown
West
Lumberport, West
Virginia,
Virginia.
pulling out their hoses and spraying each other
Oh,
down.
so Nancy
I
says you
think
should sing happy birthday to D because
Who's?
tomorrow is his birthday.
Whose birthday?
D.
Darren
Darren's
Hardman, our
Hardman.
very own director.
Whoa.
Darren Hardman's got a birthday tomorrow.
All
Everyone.
right, Jimmy, get that soundboard up.
Uh-oh.
Jimmy,
ain't got no sound.
you got that
board
soundboard I gave you. Get that thing up. On my
but
phone.
you know,
That's what
that's-
she said.
Does it even have
no,
happy
no.
birthday
That's what
on
she
it?
said.
It doesn't. No, that's not even what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something we haven't done for a while.
Thanks, Nancy.
I'm looking for something. Yeah.
Yeah, I know
maybe
what's
so.
going to happen here.
Maybe so.
Do I have a
This is a special happy birthday.
Yeah.
Mm,
I don't know. That
we haven't done this for a long. Listen,
At least be the Marilyn Monroe.
one thing we would like. No, all right. Now listen, one thing we would like for you to do. We're going to get out of here after we do this, but we're going to go ahead and do a slow jam to Darren Hardman's birthday tomorrow, and go ahead and fill this thing up full of emojis for D, the fourth letter in the alphabet. Hey, Darren. You sit over there by yourself with your hand on a mouse. Just make sure you don't stick that mouse somewhere where it shouldn't be.
Oh, Chad, you got to do your thing, man. Yeah.
You know, you've been here for a while now. We've always been friends. And one thing I love
Rub it down.
is when you get on your big bike.
So big.
Yeah. You got this.
Oh, the world has seen Darren for 60 years.
Wow.
6-0. Dang. 6-0. Wow. 50 years.
Jeez. Once again, tomorrow's Darren Hardman, the director's birthday. D. Not A, not B, not C, but D.
Oh, yeah.
All right, that's pretty good. Hey, by the way, happy birthday.
Happy
Thanks,
birthday.
guys.
Who actually said that?
Nancy Duda.
Oh, Nancy. Well, of course. We haven't. We need to give one of these.
What she's not telling you is hers just a few days after mine.
Whoa, what? What?
Really?
She has a
Yep.
birthday. Nancy does?
Yep.
Nancy the Big Six.
Well, Nancy.
You know what?
Well,
Fire
Nancy.
it up. We're going to do this one before we get out of here. And we're just going to make this make a dance to Nancy. A little slow jam, fast jam.
I like this, man. I love this song.
You know what we're going to call this? We're just going to call this the James Brown.
All right.
Nancy K. Fazio.
So, in theory, I should be seeing emojis going all
In
over
theory,
the
you
place.
should see a lot of emojis flying across the screen.
Oh, we can see them on YouTube, right?
No, you can't see him on YouTube. That's a Facebook thing.
No, I thought we could.
Hey, listen, are we going to talk about Nancy? Or are you going to talk about your stupid YouTube thing going on?
Hey, Nancy.
RoganRadio.com. Say hi to Nancy.
We
Her
want you
birthday's
to-
coming up.
Oh.
You know what? I hope you have 2 cheeks because we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 hands for spanking birthdays style. What's wrong with that, man? You got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 hands. Mark counts 14 hands.
I
2
can't
cheeks.
smack another woman's ass. I'm a married man.
Well, you do it to other guys, so what's the
Hey,
problem with
yeah,
the other ones?
I'll tell you what, I'll do it twice for you.
I said, thank you, Chad. I said another woman's ass. Yeah, not another Chuck's ass.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening tonight. Once again, the important thing to always remember is never forget, never ever forget what today's all about, and it will live with us for forever, and then a lot of it with you also, just because we never forget, and we know exactly what happened and what it felt like, and it's still it's hard to watch some of these videos. Chad was watching that Flight 93 video, and you just couldn't do it.
Yeah,
Still
that
raw
was on Friday.
today.
It was still just too raw.
Yeah.
Too raw. I mean, it was all about that one flight, but it's still kind of.
I don't think that one gets enough. I don't think that Flight 93 gets enough attention. No one ever talks about Flight 93.
You know, nor the Pentagon compared to Twin
Or the
Towers,
Pentagon,
you know?
yeah.
You know, I just saw Mark Coffey walking away with his Lumberport shirt, Lawn Fire Rescue, and I was thinking, man, if I was ever in a fire or something, you imagine someone like that running at you to save you?
With an axe in his big
I
burly
know.
chest
I'd be like,
hanging
is he
out.
coming to finish me off or to save me?
Is this a mercy killing?
This could go either way. I'm running.
And once again, don't forget, coming this Sunday, we'll get you all the details. Maybe we can get Corey in here. I'll get them from Mark, and we will post them on here. Big happenings down in Lumberport with all the fire departments. It's going to be like a fireman's battle. It's going to be badass. And until tomorrow, when the podcast comes out, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening to Rogan Radio.
We love you. Bye-bye.
We love you.
Bye-bye.
Walk a mile in my shoes. Yeah, before you abuse, criticize and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes. Now let me spend a day
Yeah.
throwing stones at one another.
One another.
'Cause I don't think,
We need that.
I'm gonna wear my hair
Huh.
grow the same way you do.
You know what?
Yeah,
Because-
this is not as good as you can't hear it.
Just come with
It's hard to sing along when you can't hear it.
My ears was
brother.
evidently someone talking bad about me.
And when you strike out,
you
strike out.
Strike out.
It's a hoodie.
You, and 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 you.
Just
Walk a mile in my shoes.
Yeah. And we'll get this DNS thing settled down. We did a pretty good job of fighting it off tonight.
Not too bad.
Walk a mile
For the most
in my
part.
shoes. Yeah, yeah.
now there are people on the reservations.
Goodbye, goodbye,
out in
goodbye.
the ghetto. And brother, there, before the grace of God, I go you and I. Now if I only had the wings of a little angel, don't you know I'd fly to the top of a mountain, and then I'd cry, 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 walk a mile in my shoes, just walk a mile in my shoes.